Hello everyone! Today, we want to take you on an emotional journey where love is not just about sweetness, but also about trials, choices, and silent sacrifices. Jmaes and Diep, two souls, two hearts who seem to have found peace in each other. Their love isn't a dazzling fairy tale, but it is sincere, simple, and deeply touching. Yet, destiny is never easy. Just as Jmaes is devoting himself wholeheartedly to Diep, another storm strikes. His family's company is a source of pride, yet also the greatest burden of his life is teetering on the edge of collapse due to dark conspiracies. At the same time, Tung, a longtime friend who has quietly watched over Diep, no longer wants to remain on the sidelines. He decides to step into this emotional battle, revealing his feelings and ready to fight for the woman he loves. Everything grows more complicated when Jmaes is forced to make a painful choice: sacrifice his love to save his entire family, or stay with Diep and let his career fall apart. What will Diep choose when her heart is torn between two men, one who silently sacrifices everything, and one who's willing to cross all boundaries for her? And will Jmaes have the courage to let go of the love of his life to become the hero his family needs? Join us in this video to witness every unexpected and touching twist in this story. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next emotional and dramatic moments. Though born into luxury and raised as an heir, Jmaes never hesitated to roll up his sleeves and do things he had never done before: feeding the chickens and ducks, sweeping the yard, cooking porridge, carrying water, and even learning how to make Diep's favorite chicken porridge. Every morning, he would wake up earlier than her to prepare breakfast, then gently knock on her door with that familiar rhythm to wake her up. Diep looked at him with eyes full of emotion. What touched her heart wasn't gallantry or expensive gifts, it was love expressed through the simplest and most sincere gestures. That morning, the two of them sat side by side, having breakfast on the porch. Diep burst out laughing when Jmaes told the story of his first time chasing chickens around the yard. She had never imagined that a man who once wore suits and drove luxury cars could now look so adorably clumsy and messy, all just to make her smile. But then, the sound of a phone ringing shattered that rare, peaceful moment. Jmaes picked up the call, and his expression gradually tensed. On the other end of the line came troubling news. His company was facing a serious crisis, one that could greatly damage its reputation and finances. He paused for a moment, looking at Diep, the woman he had poured so much effort into staying beside, then forced a smile, trying to hide his worry. "I have to head home right away. There's a situation at the company, but I'll be back soon. I promise." As soon as Jmaes stepped foot back home, he saw his mother waiting in the living room with an unusually tense expression. On the table lay stacks of files, accounting books, and thick financial reports. Without beating around the bush, she handed them directly to him. "Jmaes, you need to see the company's situation clearly. We're standing at the edge of a cliff." He took the documents and skimmed through the dense figures. It felt like a punch to the chest. Overdue taxes piling up, bank loans nearing their deadlines, cash flow frozen because key partners had withdrawn. Everything seemed to be dragging the company toward the brink of bankruptcy. A heavy sigh escaped his mother's lips. "We've been sabotaged. Someone's been pulling strings from the shadows, but there's no time left to find out who. You have to act now." Jmaes clenched his fists. He understood. But where on earth could he find the kind of capital needed to rescue an entire corporation drowning in crisis? After a long silence, his mother spoke softly. "There's one option. You could consider a marriage alliance with Miura." Jmaes froze. His heart skipped a beat. He looked up, stunned. eyes locked on his mother. You know, Myra's family is powerful financially and politically. Our families have been close for generations. If you marry her, the company will receive immediate support. And Myra, she's a good girl. She's loved you since you were kids. James closed his eyes, his mind spinning in chaos. James and Myra, yes, they had been childhood friends. She was the daughter of a prestigious family, intelligent, sharp, and beautiful. During their years studying abroad, she had always been by his side as a close and loyal friend. But he had never felt romantic love for her because his heart already belonged to Diep, the gentle, simple girl who, more than anyone, brought him peace. Mom, I know you're worried about the company, about our family, but Diep is sick. She needs me by her side. And I need her too. How could I betray my own heart just to trade it for money and power? His mother said nothing more. She simply looked at him, eyes filled with deep concern. Think carefully, son. Sometimes love alone isn't enough to withstand life's storms. But the honor, the future of our entire family, it's all in your hands. James quietly said goodbye to his mother and left the house in silence. The suffocating weight refused to let go of James. The pressure from his family, the looming collapse of the company, and now the marriage proposal. It all felt like a blade slicing through his heart, a heart that held only the image of Diep. He couldn't take it anymore. In that moment, all he wanted was to escape, to run to her, the only person who made the world feel gentle again. The only one who could steady his lost and aching heart. His hands, gripping the steering wheel, began to tremble. His chest felt heavy, like stone. He pulled the car over, got out, and splashed his face with cold water from a bottle in the car, hoping to shake off the dizziness tightening around him. The wind swept through his hair. His face was wet, but his heart was still in turmoil. On one side was the woman he loved, fragile, ill, and needing him more than ever. On the other was honor, legacy, and the fate of generations of his family. James looked up at the gray sky, and in silence he asked, "How do you choose a path without losing everything?" As for Tian, ever since the day Diep was discharged from the hospital, he had heard the news through a mutual acquaintance. At first, he merely watched from afar as he always had. But this time, a slow-burning anger stirred within him. He had once buried his own feelings, choosing to step back and accept seeing Diep with James simply because he believed James could bring her happiness. But what was the outcome? Diep quietly battled her illness, suffering both physically and emotionally, and the man she chose didn't even realize it in time. That night, after visiting Diep, Tian couldn't sleep. His small room was cloaked in darkness, lit only by the dim glow of a yellow bulb, while his mind spun in an endless spiral of thoughts. His father, a man of experience who had always understood his son, sat beside him in silence for a long time. Then he spoke a single sentence, short yet powerful enough to awaken something deep within Tian. If you truly love someone, then even if the chance is slim, you should still tell her, so you won't live with regret. That one line was the final drop that made the cup of emotion overflow. Tian realized he could no longer keep running from his feelings. He loved Diep, a love that wasn't loud or flashy, but genuine, quietly burning for years. And if he didn't say it now, he knew he would never forgive himself. The next afternoon, Tian came to visit Diep. As soon as he reached the gate, he saw her thin and fragile in a pale sweater, bent over pulling weeds in the backyard garden. No one beside her, no laughter, only the soft breeze rustling through the leaves, as quiet and gentle as she was. His heart clenched. He walked over, his voice unable to hide the sorrow. What are you doing, Diep? Why aren't you resting? Where's James? Why did he leave you like this? Diep looked up and gave him a faint smile, as if everything was fine. James had to leave for something urgent. I'm feeling much better now, don't worry. That light-hearted answer weighed heavily on Tianji's heart. He didn't say anything else, just quietly rolled up his sleeves and helped her finish the work. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, the two of them sat on the steps, hands still dirty with soil, their clothes speckled with drops of water. The silence around them felt unusually still. Tianj looked at Diep for a long time, then finally spoke, his voice low and hesitant. Diep, there's something I've wanted to say for a long time, but I was afraid, so I kept it in. I've loved you for a very long time. Diep froze. She hadn't expected those words to come from Tianj, someone she had always seen as an older brother, a trusted friend. And Tianji, she stammered. But before she could finish, Tianji gently interrupted her, his eyes sincere, as if trying to hold on to this fleeting moment. I know, you and James are in love, but he's not making you happy. I see that. I don't want to watch you suffer any longer. Give me a chance to be by your side, to take care of you, to love you the way you deserve to be loved. The air grew thick with emotion. Tianj stood up, adjusted his shirt, and gave a soft smile. You don't have to answer me now. Just think of me not as a big brother, but as a man who's willing to wait for you. And with that, he walked away, leaving behind the deep red glow of sunset and a heart caught between two diverging paths. As Tianj stepped out of Diep's house and reached the gate, he suddenly came face to face with James, who had just returned after a long, exhausting day. Their eyes met. No introductions, no pleasantries. The air instantly tightened like a string pulled taut. Tianj didn't flinch. He walked straight up to James, gaze unwavering, his voice deep and full of challenge. I once chose to step back because I believed you could make Diep happy. But not anymore. I was wrong. I won't retreat this time from now on. I'll fight for her with everything I've got. James stood frozen, heart pounding in his chest. He didn't respond, just watched silently as Tianj disappeared behind the garden fence. Stepping into the house, he saw Diep in the kitchen, gently preparing tea, her eyes as calm and kind as ever, as if no storm had ever passed through her life. And suddenly, James felt a fear he had never known before. Until now, he had always believed in their love, that being together was enough. But in that moment, for the first time, he realized maybe love alone wasn't enough. No one could say who Diep would choose. And he, James, was now standing at a cruel crossroads, to hold on to the woman he loved, or sacrifice everything to save his company, to save a family legacy on the brink of collapse. Can James really let go? Will Diep follow her heart or choose the man who can offer her a steadier future? Their love, will it find a way forward or come to an end here? Stay tuned for the next episode to witness all the unexpected and emotional twists in this story. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the most heart-stirring and dramatic moments ahead.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người, cảm ơn mọi người rất là nhiều vì mọi người đã theo dõi hết video nha. Ở trong video hôm nay thì mình đã cố gắng truyền tải đến mọi người những thông điệp tốt nhất từ câu chuyện, cũng như kể một cách chân thực nhất về câu chuyện hiện tại. Và mọi người nếu như có ý kiến đóng góp gì cũng như để cho kênh cải thiện và trở nên tốt hơn thì mọi người cứ để lại ở phần bình luận giúp mình nha. Mình sẽ đọc, sau đó tham khảo và sẽ sửa theo ý kiến của mọi người để kênh càng ngày càng trở nên hoàn thiện hơn. Và mọi người ơi, mọi người nhớ đăng ký kênh của mình, sau đó là bật chuông thông báo để khi ra những video mới nhất thì mọi người có thể kịp thời xem, để có thể là những người biết rõ và đầu tiên nhất của câu chuyện này nha. Và mọi người nếu như yêu thương mình cũng như là yêu thương những người xung quanh thì hãy chia sẻ câu chuyện này đến cho những người khác để mọi người cùng có thể xem câu chuyện hay và cảm động này mọi người nhé. Và mình xin phép chào tạm biệt mọi người và hẹn gặp lại mọi người ở video sau. Bye bye.